Here's something you've never seen before. Sonic fan wearing a Nintendo World hoodie, alright? I'm just flexing the merch I got from vacation, alright?
You know what I love most about this blue guy Sonic? The fact that you could go really fast with him. Going fast as this guy Sonic is a big chunk of the appeal, and I love it so much. There's a reason I still love this series so much as an adult to this day. Oh wait, you know what? Now thinking about it some more, that might just be the ADHD. Throughout every Sonic game that's existed, minus a few exceptions, we've had the capability of controlling the superpowered hedgehog at blistering speeds from 2D to 3D, sometimes both even. But the many Sonic gameplay styles out there, usually, they are very fun and give us a well-made and entertaining controlling Sonic to play with. Again, usually. Whether in 2D or 3D from the classics, the boost games, whatever the heck Heroes was attempting, out of all of them though, these two are the ones I loved the most as a kid. The boost being an introduction to Sonic for me as a kid, this felt so natural. For this being my first Sonic game, seeing him dash off like this so fast just felt right for the character. Also, it was funny because if you mess up and hit a wall, you go running into it, or you slam his poor head into the thing. Also, as well, you could just run his head against the surface, scratching it in the process, as well as if you run out of boost, he'll just go.
Sometimes I just intentionally drained the boost gauge when playing this game just to let him trip for dramatic effect when I was 4. You know what, now that I think about it, maybe that's why I didn't mind the tripping mechanic in Brawl.
With all this love I felt for the boost when I was younger, the feeling was up with the games to follow being Colors and Generations, especially Generations. This was a pinnacle of Sonic games back then. It was fast, it was fun, and hey, there's a version that's not on my 3DS. And oh my gosh, it's just like Unleashed.
Neuron activated!
Sonic Generations was a game that I loved dearly growing up, both handheld and console. It felt so cool seeing Sonic games keep going with this boosting style for the past few games I played. This style was so consistent. It's like how Mario was consistent with his titles. This was Sonic's, this was Mario's, and that's how game franchises work. Moving on. But then one day, my dad showed me the reveal trailer for something new. A reveal trailer on the website called twitter.com that's totally not a toxic environment. That being the reveal trailer for Sonic Lost World. And I was excited because it was Sonic. Of course I was excited. I mean, anything that had this guy's face on, I was excited for. What y'all know about Wreck-It Ralph?
To tell the truth, I don't even remember when I got this, to be fully honest. As far as it goes in my brain, it just showed up one day, honestly. I don't know.
I remember seeing that opening cutscene for the very first time on my 3DS. It was just like the ones from before, too. A big CG cutscene to start us off on our next adventure. All's well and good. Things are just about the normal. But then, the worst thing I ever could have saw appeared on my screen.
Whoa, that's harsh!
How could you? In case you can't tell what level of betrayal 8 or 9-year-old me felt, here, then I, 21-year-old me, will happily explain it to you. So basically, when playing Lost World on my 3DS, seeing Modern Sonic go to the other side of the tornado all Sonic X style, then going to charge a spin dash like classic Sonic? No! That hurts my throat. So in case you missed the title of the video, which I'm going to assume you haven't, one of my biggest gripes with Sonic back then, from Lost World onward, was seeing Modern Sonic doing the spin dash. Oh man, if you thought that was nuts, just listen to this. Having my first Sonic experience be Sonic with the boost, and knowing that a younger Sonic used to spin dash in the old games, and knowing he does this now, but then going back to this spin dash move that his younger self did, was for some reason the biggest turnoff for me, and I'm not sure why, to be completely honest. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way and clarify it. By this point, the adventure games were not a thing yet for me, and if you're wondering what the heck I thought the areas was in Sonic Generations, I thought Speed Highway and Cityscape were Sonic X references and representation, mainly because that was my only exposure to those because of the adaptations the show did of the adventure games. And yes, I do know that Sonic Spin Dash and Sonic X, but just ignore that. So seeing this was genuinely a big turnoff for Sonic Lost World back then. Not to mention the second you start playing, you're walking and not running, and I didn't even know the run button was a thing till I would get the Wii version, and it would take me a minute to discover it was there too. I don't know why I was so hyper obsessed on Modern Sonic spin dashing back when I was a kid. The thing is, when I eventually played the adventure games where the spin dash is heavily present in those, it was very fun and I enjoyed it so much. Heck, I would even play 06 years earlier and Sonic spin dash is there, but I didn't count it for some reason. I mean, to be fair, this is barely a spin dash, really. I mean, come on. But the adventure games, however, this was a true 3D spin dash, and I loved it. It was fun getting to finally play these games I saw in the end credits of Generations, and I didn't care about the spin dash because I knew these games were older, and this was supposed to be a younger Sonic that doesn't have the boost, at least not yet. Don't question the logic. So I allowed it here, but for some reason, for our good friend Modern Sonic here, seeing him do this was the most displeasing thing ever. What makes this funnier to think back on is that when the trailer for Forces dropped, I was excited upon seeing it, but I was immediately disappointed a little during it because of seeing Sonic jumping off the building and spin dashing. Hearing that old spin dash sound effect and seeing modern Sonic do it triggered something in me, man. I hated it so much for some reason. And for a while, I was actually concerned about whether or not Sonic Forces was going to have a Sonic spin dashing around and not boosting like he was before. Holy crap, if it wasn't obvious, I think we could probably tell that Sonic Lost World really affected my brain when I was younger, because my gosh, man, making me nervous for upcoming Sonic projects to go back to this sort of classic-y route. I mean, that's somewhat valid, but jeez, man. I think this is honestly where some of my once known dislike for classic Sonic comes into play. It's the fact that in Lost World onward, nostalgia was doubled down on immensely for Sonic games. From Badniks, rescuing animals, Green Hill Overload, heck, nostalgia overload in general, even changing Sonic's model to be shorter and all classic-y, and those quills that are still in effect to this day! It did a lot of damage, that's for sure, and this didn't really help either. It's funny because at one point upon seeing that first Generations trailer on the family computer and seeing a younger classic Sonic pop up next to the modern Sonic I grew to love was exciting at one point, but then we fast forward to where the elements from the classic days are so overused that eventually seeing any resemblance is dreadful, to where any new game with him is immediately disappointing to some at least, and by some I mean me. Really goes to show how Lost World damaged the identity of this series so much, from not only that but also the reputation of the classics being represented nowadays. But I know what's on your mind now. So do you still hate the spin dash, or did you actually realize it's cool? Yeah, I did this thing called Grow Up. The spin dash, yes, is in a more positive light for me, mainly because I was 11 and 12 years old when I thought all this, but it is awesome to see it now integrated within newer games like Frontiers, and seeing it now possibly being considered for future titles is really cool to see, and I'm glad that eventually, whenever I was younger, I came around to the idea of modern Sonic spin dashing because I realized, hey wait, this is actually kind of cool. To think the first game we got the spin dash back again in 3D properly was this game here. Even though if it's just a glorified boost button, it is interesting to think about how after this game and the linear mess Forces was, we'd see a good return of the spin dash in 3D with Frontiers. And with this sucker, you can just let loose and go wild with it. I'm hoping for the next game they do change it up a little bit more to be kind of faithful to the original spin dash in 3D, but that will just have to be a wait and see moment. Just as long as we don't go back to 06 rules of a spin dash, because what even is this supposed to be? Like, it's not even, you can't even move. How does the demo function more than the final game? That's why I'm convinced this is just the pre-alpha and not the demo at E3. I'm just saying.